You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
My name is Pastor Joy. I invite you to tune in on a regular basis to the True Word Television and be blessed by God's servants from all over the world. Welcome. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Hi everyone, today is Tuesday. Welcome to True Wellness Connections. You know, every Tuesday is a special day for all of us, our viewers, the True Word Connections, True Wellness Connection, and True Word Television. We are here today to present a very unique topic. This topic actually is for everybody, whether you're 2 years old, 1 year old, you are married, you're single, you're old. We all do experience this topic today that we are going to talk about. So please, our viewers, just log on, check us, and send us your questions if you have. If we don't have time to answer today, we can answer it anytime. And also enjoy, before we start our show, I would love to introduce my co-host. On my right side is Claudine Solomo, our pastor's wife, very authentic. And on my left side is our pastor, our sister, our auntie. She's so fun. She doesn't behave like a pastor, but deep inside she's a pastor. Her name is Pastor Ongozi Henka, pastor from House of New Hope Ministries. Honestly, I just met her today. She's just amazing. She made me laugh, But anyway, this is just a small tokens of energy so that you guys can be excited to listen to what we are going to say. And please bring everyone in your home to listen. You know what? Even my kids these days, they just say, "Oh, mommy went for the show. We have to listen." So they get hooked. So you know what? Bring your kids with you too to sit down and watch. So everybody's welcome, and I just want to thank everyone who is watching our show. We want to thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, because you guys are the reason we are still doing it. And the reason why we are going extra doing this is because we want to learn together. We want to lift each other's up. We want to bear each other's burden. We are not perfect, but we want to teach everyone, and we want to learn from you too. So be connected, love, share, and also subscribe to True Word Television, and thank you so much. Well, today we are going to talk about the cause of anger. You know, these days the world is so complicated. Even when you go to the grocery store, someone has full stuff, you get angry because you are rushing, you want everything to be quick. When they take so long looking for their cards to pay, people get so mad. But you know what? Today we just want to find a way to reach to our viewers who are listening that, you know what, there is a way how to manage your anger, how to be positive about everything, how to approach disappointments, how to approach those little problems that you have, even when you are not part of it, you know. So today, as we talk about the cost of anger, please hang in there. So my first question today goes to Claudine Solomon. How do you define anger? Just in a lame words, in a lame words.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Victoria. Again, my name is Claudine Solomon. So I'm your sister, and I love you, and I thank you for connecting with us today. So the question is that what is the what causes anger?
What is anger?
Okay.
Just we want to know the definition.
Basically, anger is an expression of what is going on inside us, and that usually is caused by a trigger. Something causes you to react in the negative way most of the time as a result of how does something cause you to be angry. So no one would say that have never been angry. You know, anything can make you angry, but the difference here now, being angry is a part of human being. We all have feelings, we have emotion. As much as you can be happy, you can also be angry because something can cause you to be angry. So what we are talking about is now, when you are angry, does the anger control you or you do control it? So we just want to talk about how to acknowledge that anger is a human nature. We can all be angry. So what we're going to be talking about is how can our anger cost us life, cost us much if we allow anger to control us, if we allow anger to dictate us what to do. So because as a result of anger, you can do things that you're going to regret for the rest of your life. But the truth is, being angry is a part of human nature. And they would say that when you are angry, you have to be able to acknowledge that you are angry. You can never neglect how you feel. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, right? But you have to be able to say, okay, I am angry right now. I just don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like how this person is talking to me. I don't like what's going on. But yeah, so what if you don't like it? Is that the reason why you should just go ahead and punch someone's face? Just the reason why you should go ahead and hate yourself? So basically, I would say anger is something that every human being can go through because it's an emotion. But now, we should be able to be in charge of how we feel so that that anger is not going to cause you to act in the way that you're going to regret for the rest of your life. That's how I would say about that.
Okay, Pastor Ngozi.
Oh, thank you.
Being a pastor, so you have to give us like a godly one.
But we are not going to make it a motto.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So I think if I'm trying to answer your question of what is really anger, I have to start with my experience of anger. Today, I was telling my colleagues today, the beautiful woman here, I said, oh my God, today we are going to talk about anger. And I think I really experienced this today at the place of work and some areas. So I would say that anger is an uncomfortable emotion. Is a strong feeling of annoyance coming as a result of, could be external factors or internal factors. So it's not comfortable when you are feeling it. It's not fun. It's not good. But anger tells you that something is not really right. So, and the issue is not about whether you are angry or not. Like my beautiful sister said, it is what is really important is how you manage it and to be able to listen to what the anger is really telling you about. Like today I was saying it, I was a little bit angry. I was a little bit angry in the morning, in the afternoon, and I can see that strong feeling of annoyance, and it's quite really uncomfortable. So when you are really angry, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. You can feel a little bit of resentment within or outside. But like I said, what is important is how you manage it and how you are able to look at some of the things that is really causing you anger and your own personal definition of it. Because if we want to look at it dictionary, there are various ways you can define or describe anger. But what is really important, you should know that is a strong emotion, is uncomfortable, something that takes you out of your normal balance or normal way of responding to issues of life. That's what I would say.
Wow, that's really great. You know, in this show, we don't want to go to, we can do it, but we want to define it differently, because even in the research, not everybody experiences the same way. When I'm angry, it's not the same way Sister Claudine experienced or Pastor Ngozi experienced. So for three of us, we can say, I have my own definition too. Anger is something that makes you uncomfortable, something that makes your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, you feel like, man, I'm going to smash someone right now. But you know what? All come to one, come down to how are we managing our anger. And this is what we really want to speak to people today, that how are we managing our anger? Or in a situation where we find ourselves uncomfortable, how are we going to make that situation really comfortable, not like have resentment or anything like that. So, yeah, that is the definition of anger. And, you know, not all anger is bad. There is good anger and there is bad one. So, do you agree with me?
Yeah, there's a holy anger.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and sometimes you can be angry sometimes with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll be like, oh man, where was I? Why did I make this decision? Okay, you can be angry with yourself. But if you happen to be angry with yourself, but don't crucify yourself and take the situation that you are angry about as like end of your life or anything, you should just look at or say, okay, I am not happy with such a decision that I made, but what can I learn from it? Because the truth is, you are living, you have a life to live. You know, you may be angry because of the wrong decision that you made in the past, but the good thing is to be able to acknowledge how you feel at the moment. I feel angry with myself. Like, I'll give you an example. So during my course right now, I'm supposed to be graduating in May. But I made the wrong decision by dropping a course that I shouldn't have dropped. Like, every time I remember it, that I'm not graduating in May, man, I feel like punching myself. Why did I make this decision? Okay? But I come back to find a way to comfort myself. That's fine. Meanwhile, when everybody are graduating in May, I was busy making money. You know, you find something also positive out of that one. And you start to find a way to say, okay, even though I'm not graduating in May, at least I've been making money when everybody has these classes, and you know what? My dream is still gonna come true. That is an example of a positive anger. I'm angry with the decision that I made. But there's also sometimes that you can be angry with something that's beyond your control. That is bad. And you walk and believe in it. You tell yourself negativity instead of saying, okay, this has happened. Always acknowledge how you feel. It's so important. Because if you don't acknowledge how you feel, you're going to have like a stock of anger inside you, whereby when a little trigger comes, somebody's get it in his face. Not because what just actually happened. That's why you see some people, they can act foolish, and after 5 minutes they begin to go back and they repent. Why? Because they act according to the emotion that they had at that moment. But because of something that has been happening inside their life, they have never dealt with. So when something just comes, have you seen somebody that gets just angry? You're just having a normal conversation. Somebody's kind of just changes in his face, start to talk like, oh, what do you mean? What do you want to say? Then you know, you who is listening to that person, you have to be able to know. It's not all about what I'm talking to this person. It's all about what is going to be deeper, this person. So let me not just take it personally as this person is expressing the anger. Because if I take it personally, you and me, we're going to punch each other. But if I look at this, I say, sorry. I thought I was just saying this. I didn't know I'm going to have this punch. So that's what I want to explain about that.
Okay, Pastor Ngozi.
Yes, my darling sister.
What do you think about good anger and bad anger? Can you try to elaborate a little bit?
Yes. But first of all, if I'm trying to categorize it, whether it's good or bad, I'm trying to say, is joy or happiness good or bad? If we're trying to look at it that way. And I have to answer that question from the book of Ephesians chapter 4 verse 26. So the viewers, if you have your Bible, you can bring it up, or when you have your time, you can read it. And that's what really helped me as a pastor, to be able to experience or express my anger without feeling, oh, they are going to judge me. So it's not about whether anger is good or bad. It could be constructive or not constructive. But let's look at what the Bible said in Ephesians 4:26. It said, in your anger, do not sin. Okay? So it's not about being angry. The Bible said, in your anger, do not sin, which tells me that it's okay to be angry.
Yes.
So for me to be angry, or you angry, or anybody angry, there is nothing really wrong about being angry, because anger is a messenger. When we are angry, anger is telling you that something is not right. Something is awkward. And there are some people that are really angry for no just reason. But when you sit and look into it, you will see that it's a message that is telling you something. So there is no place to say it's good or bad. It all depends on how you look at it, how you manage it, how you address it. Because the word of God said this here. It said, be angry, but sin not. So which means you can be angry, but be sure you are going to handle it very well. If you handle it very well, it becomes very constructive. That can lead you to a right direction. But if you didn't handle your anger very well, be sure you are going to end in prison. And you don't want to end either physical prison or internal prison, which is there are people outside there, but they are emotionally imprisonment because they are finding it difficult to express their anger. And they are so imprisoned. The anger, the person that suffers really the anger is the person that is really feeling the feeling, not what really caused you that anger. So anger could be constructive or deconstructive. It could be good, it could be bad. But there is nothing wrong with being angry. It all depends on how you manage your anger.
Excellent. Yeah, for sure, it's true. We all get angry one point or another. I read somewhere that anger is good and anger is bad. The good one is, like, it will make you to work hard, to achieve something that you really want to achieve. For example, when, like just a simple example for student, right? I was a student before too. So if I get 50 and my passing marks is 60, right, I will become so angry. So this will give me a chance to read hard, to ask my professors, to find research, to have reading groups. Maybe this subject I'm not really good at it, make you to accomplish something. And the bad one, it's when you're angry with someone, you just go, grumbling all the time, even punching someone. But today we just want us to work together, and I want your questions about anger. How can we go about this? Because this is really huge, affecting our lives, whether young kids or grown-ups. So, we just want your feedback on this, and if you have questions, you can send it to us. And I know that there are some ways how to manage your anger. I believe there are 3. Do you know those ones, Pastor? 3 types of anger?
3 types of anger?
Yeah.
We can have more than 80. But I think there is some of them that are really, really like a passive-aggressive anger. In that sense that, some people, they will smile. They express it by smiling, but behind, they want to stab you and beat the hell out of you. And sometimes they are telling you, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That's a passive-aggressive anger. They don't want to express it because of fear. And it's always come from a place of low self-esteem. They think if they express their anger, they will be judged. It's going to affect who they are. So they want people to really love them. So they try to say the yes. Whereas what they wanted to say is no. Is no. Are you angry? No. I'm not angry. It is okay. Very passive. And this one, I see it a lot in our personal relationship. I see it in workplaces. Or even in churches, we see a lot of passive-aggressive individuals. They are really angry. The thing is really hurting them. They are boiling inside of them. But sister, how are you doing? It's all good. God is good. God is good. Then as soon as they see any less vulnerable somebody, they try to transfer that anger to that person. So the passive-aggressive one, oh my goodness. I would prefer to see somebody who is really very expressive. These people, they are very expressive, but it has its own downfall because sometimes the ability to express is they go above and beyond. They can destroy things. They can tell you I'm very assertive, whereas it's not about being assertive. They are going beyond and above, and they very demeaning, try to control. So the people that really experience this expressive anger, if you check it, they have a control issues, and they try to tell you, I have every right to express my anger, and because you have every right, sometimes they cause emotional harm to individual because they try to disconnect how their experiences is affecting another individual. So like I said it in the beginning, it's okay to be angry, but you have to be mindful of the effect of your anger. And there is another one, is betrayal, that comes when we felt that people have disappointed us, when we felt that we can't trust people, when our values have really been attacked. So this kind of anger, you find yourself, you are trying to defend yourself, you are trying to convince somebody, you are trying to make a point. And if you look into it, do you really need to make a point? If you know you are really right, you don't really need to make a point to express how you are feeling or what is really happening there. You can still be able to be present and talk. So when somebody is feeling that, is feeling the anger because they felt they are being disappointed or their values is attacked, you will see that place of, they go to that place of self-defense. They build the word. Even before you say one, they are already telling you too. And another one that I don't really like, some people are paranoid. They are very, very paranoid. They are always looking at thinking everybody is against them. even when you mean good. I pray you don't have a husband or a wife who is paranoid, that they are always thinking, oh, something is wrong, you are talking about me, you are saying something about me. Even when you don't mean good, there are always these kind of angry people. Oh my God, you can never please them. If you're around somebody with this kind of experiences, you have to walk on eggshell. And I see a lot of these in a close friendship. You can't have this at a place of work, because you know you will get into trouble if you're always thinking everybody's at you. Yeah, or some people that really have a mental health problem, but now we don't talk about mental health problem openly. People try to hide it. You see them expressing a paranoid anger all the time. They just flip. They are grumpy. They are moody all the time. Any little thing triggers them. So there are different kinds of anger. But like I keep saying it, there is nothing wrong with anger, but there is something wrong with it. So maybe we'll look into it later. There is something wrong with anger, but it's okay. But there is something wrong with it.
Okay. Mama Claudine, how many types of anger do you know?
I think there's nothing more that I can say more than what Pastor just said. But the difference is that the main things, there is a spontaneous anger. Like when something just happened right at the spot and you are angry, you will know that one, it happened and just finished there. But the bad anger is the anger that comes from bitterness that is inside you. You know, have you seen some people, anything you say hurt them and they make them angry and they just overreact over anything. So now the issue, the main things here is that we in our environment, we have to be able to detect the atmosphere around us. Like if you see me like reacting like, you know, in the way that like, this is supposed to be small, but the way this person is reacting to me is different. So we have to be able to acknowledge most of the time, anger, me who is going through anger, I'm going to express it to somebody around me. And you who is around me, if you don't have enough skills to be able to understand that whatever the expression of anger of my friends here may have been a result of what this person's been going on behind the closet in his life. So I don't have to punch this person. I have to take a deep breath. The result, like I'm going to give a quick example for, it's on social media anyway, what happened to Will Smith and, what's his name again? Cris. So what Will Smith did, look at how the guy reacted. Do you think he didn't know how to punch? He knew. But he was like, oh, okay, my friend, maybe he must be mentally ill. How can he react to me this way? But the problem, you will see somebody reacting in the wrong way. Instead of you being better than the person, and you begin to go now to respond to the anger reaction of this particular person. So basically what we want to say is that whatever is going on in your life, never neglect what's going on. Deal with it. Because if, as my sister say, people say, oh yeah, that's fine, all is well, praise the Lord, I am blessed. But you stumble a little bit, or you see you will see somebody bring out the nails, you'll be like, oh, no, that's not what you just did. It's what is deeper inside the person. So we need to live a life whereby our spirit are free. You need to be able to be free. Deal with any problem, any issues that you are having. Because even though you don't deal with it, it's right there. And you will know that it's right there because you will have zero tolerance. A little something that's not supposed to make you angry, you get angry to the point that you get to surprise people around you. So that's why we always say mental health is something big. Though they always say that mental health is not the absence of mental illness. It's not because you don't have no diagnosis that you are mentally healthy. Being mentally healthy is having that capacity to understand that I don't feel great, I am angry, but should I just pick up a stone and throw to somebody? You have to be able to acknowledge and try to find out what is causing me this anger. What can I do about it? Why this person is responding to me like this? Should I be patient with this person? Should I come back to this person tomorrow? Or should I just go ahead and show him or her that I can talk better than the person? So anger, whether you manage it or anger is going to manage you. And when the anger manage you, it will lead you in the wrong place. Nobody ever have celebrated anger at all. That's when the Bible says, I have not given you the spirit of anger. Which means when you feel the anger coming, know that something bad is behind it if you don't control it. So that's what I would say about anger. So there are so many ways. It's just like the deep insights. What is the deeper you that was just working a little bit of fuel to be able to express themselves? You know, that's all.
Excellent. Well, there is a saying in my country that, you know, this is a kind of a case scenario, like a husband will be mad on the wife, then because that anger is transferred to the wife, then the wife will transfer it to the child will transfer it to the dog will transfer it to the chicken will transfer it to the cat. So, you know, anger is really not something really good. If you're angry, find a time to sit that person down. First of all, not even the person who makes you mad. Deal with your own inner self. Why am I angry at this time? Why am I feeling this way? Is it my past that is making me to feel angry? Is it my family history that is making me angry? Or is it things are not working for me? You know, talk to someone before it escalates in your life. Just talk to someone, because when you're angry, you cannot be able even to receive the blessing that God has for you. Because each time He has something good for you, you are angry. You know, your heart is full of anger, full of bitterness. So, you know, I think it's best if you feel that you're angry, you feel that something going inside you that makes you uncomfortable, find a friend that you can share with. Take self-care seriously. Honestly, I'm telling you, we talked a lot about self-care in this show. Actually, it helped me a lot, self-care. It makes me to put my feet down, just be myself, relax, and let the situation also take care of itself. Sometimes, not always, right? So, I just want to, encourage all of us, you know, when we are angry, please do self-assessment. Assess yourself. Is it me? Yeah. Is it worth it to do this? Honestly, assess yourself. Then if you feel that, I did my assessment, I diagnosed myself, okay, now what is the interventions? Talk to your pastor, talk to your friend, talk to your mom, talk to anyone that can be able to help you. And also, I just want to find out from you guys about some of the root causes of anger, but maybe I'll start with Pastor Ngozi, since today she has been angry all day. So, you know, what are some of the root causes? You know, it shouldn't be the one that you're going through, but in general, you know, in general.
Yeah, generally, there are so many reasons why somebody can be angry. One of the causes can be a learned behavior, like what you are really saying. There are children that grow up in a very abusive family background where they see that for you to get what you want, you have to express anger. So they see anger as a way of getting what they want, of making a point when you want to make a point to something. So they have learned it from their dad, from their mom, everybody around see anger as a normal way of expressing their feelings or asking for something. So when children learn this, they grow up exhibiting such because they see it as a normal way of life. Nobody have taught them that you can be angry, but sin not. You can be angry, you don't have to scatter. So a learned behavior can cause anger. Another reasons, another causes can be a childhood trauma. A childhood trauma that was not really expressed. And we see that a lot in men. Some of the men that have gone through sexual abuse or rape, because the society thought it's only women that experience sexual abuse. But there is a lot of men out there that have experienced a sexual abuse, and because of the stigma attached to it, they suppress those feelings. They didn't tell anybody about it. They are angry at themselves. They are angry at the other party that caused it. So this suppressed emotion, now they grew with it. They will grow with it, and just think about who is going to be the victim of their experiences. Anybody that comes across their way. So suppressed emotional sexual abuse or trauma can cause that. Stress, work stress, financial stress that is not really well managed can cause anger. Unnecessary expectations, not being real to ourselves. Like, I like being real. Like, I came in and told them, oh my God, today was a little bit funny because we are talking about anger, and I find myself today. Yeah. So unnecessary expectation can cause anger. When people, your family, your friends, and you are finding it difficult to be real to yourself, to be real to what you can offer and what you cannot offer, you find out that you are having this uncontrolled emotion, a strong feeling of resentment towards others or towards yourself. And lack of control can be a cause of anger. Some individual, all of us, everybody wants to be in control. When you sense that you are losing that control, whether we like it or not, there are some times in our life we want to be in charge. And if you find yourself in that place that you are really not in charge, you might begin to feel a little bit of resentment inside of you. But if you can touch it, a little bit, listen to it, you can be able to experience it. Another cause of it is financial pressure. Financial pressure can cause anger. Parenting can cause anger. There are so many things that can cause anger, but remember, whether it's justifiable or not justifiable, you have to look at it very constructively, critically, so that it's not going to get out of control and make you a fool. Because there is something, the book of Ecclesiastes 7, verse 9, that's what really helped me in life. That when I'm really angry, it doesn't matter what really caused it. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 9 was an awakening to me, not to justify. It said, do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the bosom of a fool. So no matter what caused that anger, whether justifiable or not justifiable, try to always remember that anger rests in the bosom of a fool. And that's what makes it that you really need to sit down, like my sisters are saying, and have a meeting with yourself on how you want to experience or express or deal with that anger, because you are not a fool, you are not mad. Because anger sometimes can be a temporary madness. When people are angry, it can be a temporary madness, whether you like it or not. Because you will see somebody who is angry and trying to scatter everywhere. What do you call it? Is madness. It's temporary madness. You will see somebody trying to overtake. They are driving and they can't get their way. It's temporary madness. You get to the store, and because somebody just says something, you flee. It's temporary madness. And because we find it difficult to name it as a man, you are mad this time around, or you are a fool. So we try to cover it up. So no matter what causes your anger, just thought about it, that you don't want to be called a madman or a madwoman, or you are not fool, you are not stupid, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, so that you can look into it and say, okay, I'm going to try to manage it.
Excellent. I have a case scenario for you, Mama Claudine.
Okay, I'll pass it on. Go ahead.
No, you don't have to pass it on. You have to, I love to deal with case scenarios sometimes, right?
Okay.
It's between me and you. So when I came in, I said, Mama Claudine, I don't like your hair. You don't look good at that. Then you kind of roll your eyes. What do you mean by that? Probably my words hurt your feeling. So how did you manage to calm down? And now we are still talking, we are still jiggling. So what are some of the ways that you calm down, that you didn't react to my cruel words? How did you, what first came to your mind?
Thank you so much. And thank you. So this is very legitimate questions. Like, again, this express how people get angry because of what is, not only because of what is being told, just because of something that's inside them. So you just need a little bit of fire. Then I will show you. Who do you think you are? Why do you think I'm like this or like that? So again, you express to yourself, because first of all, I trust that you love me. I trust that we are sisters. I trust that you can tell me deep inside how you feel about me. So I can never be angry, because there's an established relationship between us that anything you tell me is deep. Like I find here Apostle Jerome, I say, Jerome, I know you're going to talk today. What do you say? I said, Mama Claudine, I didn't say anything today because I see everything is just perfectly fine. Again, so like inside me, I know that culturally having a short hair like this is a part of my culture. As a Burundian, you see it in Rwandese, you see it in Ugandan. Like having the hair like this is natural, is okay, is good. But when somebody expresses what I understand, we have from different cultures, and as you express that, you know that I look more beautiful when I have my extension. You are defending my beauty, so I take it as a compliment. So that's why we are saying, when you tell something to somebody, and that somebody jump on you, and you be like, you begin to apologize. I'm sorry, Mama Claudine, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. That's why we are trying to explain. When somebody gets angry just for something you say, it's not all about what this person say. It's all about what has been going on inside. If you don't have no good self-esteem, and if somebody tells you, you're gonna feel like you're gonna confirm that, I'm angry anyway. But even you know, I am beautiful, fearfully made. Whatever somebody says is your opinion is okay, but who I am is who I am. Again, what is going on inside the deeper you that is causing when somebody says something, you get to be angry. Anger, there's spontaneous anger, but there's an anger that just something inside you is just waiting for a little fire there. So if I had something, if I didn't have a good self-esteem about myself, I didn't have confidence in myself, and you talk about this hair, man, I'll show you how you want to pull me down, how you want to make me feel this. So thank you. That was an amazing case scenario.
Okay, another case scenario to Pastor Ngozi.
Oh my goodness.
It's a little bit different anyway, but we are having fun. You know, Pastor Ngozi, last Sunday I went to your church. I was like, I gave you this look. Is this Pastor Ngozi that I saw on True Word television? You know, I had someone say this to her. And the look I gave you, and also the expression I gave you, like, what went into your head, and how did you perceive that, that look? Because even the look alone sometimes make you angry, right? When someone looks at you, you felt there is something wrong. So,
okay, as a pastor, as an individual, I have to be honest. First of all, I'm going to laugh at the whole thing in the beginning because anger is all depends on your reaction to an event. Okay? So if I come into a church which I have experienced that, and somebody look at me and see, as a pastor, as a minister, there is a worldly way of view of how a pastor should be able to move, like package, that makes some people to fake instead of being real and walk in the spirit and in truth and in faith. So if I step in and somebody is looking at me like, oh, look at the way her hair is so funky, you didn't cover it up, and first of all, I'm going to laugh at you. And another thing is to look at it that most times people express what is really inside of them. That most times people are really, their anger is the transferred aggression. It has nothing to do with me. And then another thing I'm going to do with that, which I have seen it over and over, that when somebody is really angry, and even when I'm really angry, when I look at it, there is something inside of me that thing really touch a little bit. That most times when I look at it critically, it might not be what is said that makes me angry. There may be so many other factors that are added to it. So that understanding will help me in that situation to know that it's not about me that is the cause of these things. And I try to reach out. I try to reach out and tell somebody, this is what I notice. Not from a place of judgment, not a place of condemnation, but from a place of curiosity. I'm always curious to say, I noticed that when I was coming in, you were looking at me like an unholy human being. Yeah, is there anything really happening there? And the ability to listen helps me a lot. I don't know whether it's by God's grace to be able to be present and listen. Because I have found out that most of the problem is when people are talking already, we are not present, we're already thinking of how to respond. And I have found out that when somebody is angry or something is being said and they can feel you are present to listen to what they have to say. So I always try to check in and say, is there anything that is happening that you are really not telling me? And I have to name what I see, not how you make me feel. This is what I observe. It's not that you make me feel, because if I said you make me feel angry, the normal response will be defending your actions. But when I try to come from a place of curiosity to say, Sister Victoria, I noticed when I walk in here, you was looking at me somehow. Is there anything I need to know? I have already destabilized that tendency to try to defend yourself. So I try to ask you, I try to be open, and then I try to use the I statement a lot. I see it as work. I'm taking responsibility of my feelings. I'm not trying to tell you make me, so I can tell you this is how I feel. I think when I walk in there and you are looking at me like I'm from another planet, I feel a little bit I feel a little bit awkward. I feel a little bit lost because I'm trying to gaze. In this area, I'm giving you room to tell me what is really happening, because I want us to have a dialogue instead of coming from a place look, Sister Victoria, the way you look at me, I don't like it. It creates more problems. So for me in those situations, and it's just to be curious, to be open, to ask, and make room to see that it's not bad, you are not bad, but at the same time, let's talk and let's try to figure it out, and not allowing my own anger of responding or reacting to what you are doing to overshadow the main thing that is really happening.
Excellent. I think I really love that, to neutralize the situation by kind of being positive at first, like saying, oh, yeah, I notice, or I observe you look at me in a weird way. Is there something that you want me to tell me, or my clothes wasn't appropriate? I think that way, even the person will be able to read your mind, right? But if we start like, why do you look at me like that? What was wrong, right? It will cause a lot of fire. So, I think the best approach for our anger is just to remain calm, right? Remain calm. I know it's not easy, but it's good to remain calm. Find the root cause of the situation, and then also talk to that person. Don't go or talk to someone else. Just deal with that situation right there, because it will help you a lot, right?
And be open.
Yeah, be open. So I think that is really...
I want to add something to what you just said. So basically, speaking as a Christians, you have to constantly assess how you feel. You should be at peace. at peace despite the storms. So if anything rob you peace, of course, anger is uncomfortable feeling. You have to be able to say, to be calm, coming back into yourself. I feel this way because of this situation. Because if you don't come to feel what you are feeling right at the moment, you will make a foolish decision. So it is so important that you acknowledge how you feel at the moment. You acknowledge that your peace, your joy is taken away, and now you begin to plan how to respond without being foolish, without compromising your integrity as a result of how you feel. Again, peace inside you, when it's taken away, take a moment, take a break, and see how you can address that issue without compromising your integrity and do foolish decision that you're going to regret for the rest of your life, and to make a foolish decision that you're going to come back to apologize. Why? Because you lack wisdom. So wisdom always comes to cover everything, but everything began by assessing yourself and acknowledging how you feel and act accordingly.
Excellent. So, what are some of the ways how we can control our angers? Some, not all, but I know everybody has different way of controlling, but what are some of the ways that we can be able to tell our viewers so that they can be able, to also take it and use whenever it's necessary?
Okay. So, I can give an example from how I deal with anger. Anger, again, as we say, all of us in one way or another, we go through anger at one given time. So, but for me, I just have to find a point that I put myself in the comfort zone. I want to make sure how I feel is not interfering with my everyday life. I want to make sure that how I feel. For instance, you can be angry at your husband. I can be angry at my husband. But I have to come to a point and say, okay, where am I going to take him anyway? He is here. We are together. We have to work together. How can I take it easy in this situation? Again, everything comes back to the situation that is going on and how this situation. For instance, in the workplace, you're going to be there tomorrow or not tomorrow. Your colleague have made you angry. Find a way to protect yourself so that you're not going to continue to be angry as a result of this situation. Find a way to acknowledge that, my husband is always make me angry in this situation. And find a way to say that, okay, this is a part of him. I'm not going to be angry anymore when he does these things. You know what I mean? So again, you find a way, say okay, if this one is not affecting my my health, okay, how can I just allow this person? It's making me angry, but maybe something is going on with him or with her. I don't want to take her madness on my head. That's exactly what happened with Will Smith, with that brother. He's like, I'm not going to take the madness of Will Smith right now. I can swallow this punch that I got, but I'm not going to, buy these things and put my reputation on duty. So there are so many things that, it wasn't a funny situation, but how? How? It's a good question that I don't know. That's how I would do it. My reputation is always important in how I react. Tomorrow after tomorrow, how will my reaction affect me? Can I take a deep breath? Can I just, but always you have to address, as my sister said, address it if you can. But don't just keep it, maybe the next day, not the same day. The next day, say, yesterday, I didn't feel comfortable about this and this. Is there anything you want me to know? Then you are being clear and you're keeping your heart free.
Okay, Pastor. Are there some ways how to manage your anger?
Yes.
Can
Yeah,
you
to
give
manage,
us-
yes, some of the ways to manage it and get a long-lasting result is from experiences of myself and others, is to try not to judge that feeling, that uncomfortable feeling. Try not to judge it as good or bad at the moment. Try to bring a feeling of compassion towards yourself.
Yes.
Because the moment you judge it, there is that possibility of being ashamed of yourself that can cause another anger. But if you can try not to judge your emotions, whatever that is going, that adrenaline that is going on, or just you are just experienced, if you can try not to judge it at that moment and allow yourself to feel a little bit of compassion to yourself, it's going to help you to name what you are really feeling. Because the ability to name what you are really feeling, that period will help you a lot to be able to address what the issue is. Somebody maybe, let's say your spouse made a comment that you didn't really like, and you're really angry about that comment your husband made, or your husband or your wife asked you a question, and you're really angry. You start experiencing a little bit of volcano eruption inside of you. So I will suggest you take a moment to breathe in, you take a moment to listen to yourself, to be able to find out, is it really what is being said? Like my sister, you were saying, is it this thing really making me upset? Or is it that you've been craving for something, and maybe you are craving for a touch, a love, or somebody or for him to buy you something, or to be present, and now this statement is what is really flaring up. If it has a place of work, it could be you are expecting somebody to acknowledge your work. So the ability not to judge it immediately, to be present and take a moment to breathe in. We find it difficult to breathe. We find it difficult to be present, to feel your body. Find out where this anger resides. That's why the Ecclesiastes said, anger resides in the bosom of a fool. But inside your body, you can feel where that anger is, that you can take a moment and tap it. You can tell yourself it's okay to be angry, because you want to be able to name it, you want to be able to address it, you want to be able to see the root cause. So if you can be able to be present, listen to yourself, see what is really happening there, then you'll be able to name what is really happening. Then by naming what is really happening, you are addressing the issue and not the person. The ability to separate the problem from the person now becomes a little bit much easier.
Excellent. I have a question here from our favorite viewer. A man is an emotional being. What advice should you give to some people who are afraid to say how they feel? Goes to you, Pastor Ngozi. Be short because of the time.
So what I will tell you, is okay to express how you are feeling. But first of all, don't be angry with yourself for not experiencing how you are feeling, because there are some internal and external factors that have shut you down. Like some couples in the marriage, the fear of trying to defend yourself, maybe one other not listening to each other, or maybe your parents never gave you the opportunity to express who you are. So try not to judge yourself. Take a baby step, but tell yourself it's okay. They might not like it, but it's okay to express how you are feeling. And another thing that is a key factor, be mindful and move from a place of curiosity and not condemnation of the other person, because we feel it when you are trying to address something and you are trying to make another person as the cause of being responsible to your feeling. There is every possibility of trying to defend themselves. So it's okay to express how you are feeling. There is nothing wrong with it, but what is important is to be mindful how you are doing it, and to understand what have made you to be silent, because that's not the purpose of God. God loved David because David is always telling God how he feels when he screwed up, he's not afraid of God judging him. So don't be afraid, but I understand why some people can be so quiet.
Well, there is another question too from our wonderful, excellent viewer. How can you be angry and not sin? I know it's only Jesus that did it. How many people have you seen that passed the anger test?
Okay, thank you for the questions. It comes back to what I just said about when you are a Christian and you live in the Spirit, you are constantly assessing yourself and how you feel. So the anger, you should be in charge of how you feel. That's what we are repeating again. Don't ignore how you feel. Because when you don't ignore if you ignore how you feel, anger will be in control and it will dictate to you. So you won't have no power. Then you act according to how you feel. Because the feeling is of the flesh. So we want to bring the spirit to be active. I feel like this now, but I am not going to punch you back. I am just going to shut up because I see you are being on fire. Then I'll talk to you tomorrow. Basically, let us live and walk in the spirit. Acknowledge how you feel. And make sure your action is an action that pleases God. And that's the only way you can be able to overcome anger. If you are fully aware of yourself at this moment, then you'll be able to be fully aware of the decision you're about to take. And fully aware that God will be glorified. Or if you're going to just be quiet and meditate and go the next day. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Well, time, we are kind of against the time, but we will continue sometime next week. But before we end our show, today, honestly, I want all of us, we know we talked about God. And the question is, what about those people who don't believe in God, right? Those people who are not having the same faith with us. One thing I always assess myself with, I say to myself, do to others as others want to do for you. That is one principle that guides me. Maybe you are non-Christian. Maybe you don't believe in God. But one thing you have to know is, if you do me good, tomorrow I will do you good. If you do me wrong, someone else will do you wrong. You know, they say karma knows everybody's number. So you know what? Let's just be mindful, and we will talk more sometime next week. Thank you so much for those who sent in their questions, and we are still welcoming more questions. We see this a lot happening in our lives, even in our children. We see all these things, but we really want to tackle this topic into detail so that people get to know, you know what, at least someone told me how to manage anger. I hear this and that. So you know what, we want your questions, and also if you have comments out there, good ideas, just send it to us. We will also pass it on to our viewers. We are all learners. We want to get every bit of the show to apply in our lives. So today, we just want you guys to know that anger is something bad and something good. Even if it's good or bad, you just have to know, keep your reputation, don't sin, and then, you know, all those things that we talk, summarize and see which one is useful for you, which one is not useful. Those that are useful, apply it. Those are not useful, just throw them in the garbage. Thank you so much for following us, and thank you so much for the love and like. May God bless you, and we'll see you sometime next week on Tuesday.
When it is Tuesday on the True Word Television, it is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salomo.
Today is Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salomo.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio.
You just have to be honest with yourself.
And Elizabeth Bremo.
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
To talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations that too matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True World Television, 5:30, Winnipeg.
Je bénis ton nom, Seigneur, pour cette émission, les cris dans les déserts. L'émission que tu as amenée, Seigneur, au devant de ton peuple. Il n'est pas sous la condamnation des péchés encore. Parce que Jésus-Christ, s'il était descendu, il était descendu afin que toi, tu sois saint.
Hear our prayer.
In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus.
We've gathered here to pray. Hear our cry. Oh Lord, we need
Joseph.
C'est pour te dire que ouais, ou important ça dans
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Shalom, shalom peuple de Dieu, c'est votre humble serviteur le pasteur Marcel Chondo ici dans les studios de True World TV. Nous sommes venus vous présenter notre nouvelle émission intitulée Les Cris dans les déserts. Les Cris dans les déserts, c'est une émission qui va venir vous bénir, bénir vos familles, bénir vos affaires, bénir vos ministères. Que notre Dieu vous bénisse. N'oubliez pas, chaque mardi nous serons ici